the complete Midnight engineering guide based on hundreds of hours testing professions on the beta. In this video, we're covering the best way to level engineering, how to get all the profession knowledge possible so that you can maximize the gold you make, the best knowledge builds depending on what you want to do, and a bunch of min-max tips that you won't see in any other guides. Engineering is looking great in Midnight, mostly from the ammo and scopes, which give a lot of long-term demand to the profession. We do have some pruning, we're down to 2 engineering parts, but there's a lot of stuff you can craft here. A lot will be junk, but it's looking pretty good overall in my opinion. One of the most important things in engineering in Midnight is recycling. Recycling is a system whereby you destroy 5 crafted items from a wide range of professions, and in return you get engineering crafting materials. Evercores and Elithium are the output from this. That's basically used in all of our engineering crafted stuff. The main difference from last expansion then, we can only recycle this expansion's crafted stuff. We don't get any mounts from this. This time, the Evercores and Elithium we are just using to craft our engineering stuff. This is not Formatology 2.0, but we do have a full video talking about recycling coming up. In Midnight, then, engineering is a profession built around turning the waste from other professions into engineering materials and then turning those mats into high value items. Now, on every other profession I have done a detailed guide of what to do from a leveling perspective, what materials you will need. This is much more difficult with engineering with the RNG involved. The vast majority of recipes come from recycling and RNG recipe discoveries. The first thing I would say is if you're going to be recycling a lot anyway to get the recipes, you can recycle all the way up to 35 engineering skill, so I'd not even think about crafting anything until then. Now, this is going to be expensive, but basically what you need to do then is spam recycling until you unlock all the recipes. Now, for all professions, the first thing you do is turn first-time crafts on. Crafting one of everything is going to give you profession skill, but also it's going to give you a knowledge point as well, most importantly. There are over 50 recipes you can discover here for first-time crafts. That's just out of this world insane. You can get a crazy amount of knowledge points here, but this is going to be insanely expensive as well. A lot of these crafts have a lot of materials going into them. The good news then is a lot of these crafts will take you all the way to 80 profession skill. That's much higher than almost any other profession can get from basic crafts. Now, as far as getting to 100 skill, well, that's going to be a bit more complicated. If you're a profession gear crafter or gear crafter, then it's easy mode. Just craft your stuff and you will get to 100 skill easy enough. Use the plus skill finishing regions if you need to craft a max quality until you can naturally do it. All other engineers, well, the engineer decor recipes can take you all the way to 100 skill. Yeah, good luck with that. Leveling engineering then looks crazy expensive. Like with all professions in Midnight, if you are not in a position by which you need 100 profession skill, so you're not trying to produce high level crafts, then just put it off for as long as you can because it will get cheaper over time and there's no benefit to having that higher profession skill. One of the most important early steps for engineering is collecting all 8 profession treasures. Together they give you 24 knowledge points, and that's a massive early boost, especially for engineering. So firstly, we're going to grab what to do when nothing works, 51.1, 57.1 from In Silvermoon City, Murder Row in the upper part. 1 Engineer's Junk, still in Silvermoon, 51.4, 74.6. It's just on the floor in this building over in the corner. Now heading out into Eversong at 39.5, 45.8 in the docks area with mobs everywhere, the Manual of Mistakes and Mishaps on the table in the lower part of the building. Heading over to Zullerman, but we are in a subzone within Zullerman, that's Ataltaman, at 65.1, 34.5 we have the offline helper bot. Now heading into the main Zullerman zone, this is one that took me ages to originally find on the beta, we have the handy wrench at 34.2, 87.0. Heading over to Harandir to get the Expeditionist pylon at 67.9, 49.8 on top of this mushroom-like thingy. Voidstorm next to Slayer's Rise, the subzone in the far north, 54.1, 51.1 we have the Ethereal Storm Wrench just sat on the floor within the refinery. Still in Slayer's Rise at 28.9, 39.1 we have the miniaturized transport skiff. Get all these done as early as possible. All the waypoints for these are in the description below and they're on the Discord server guides with all the other guides as well, so you can just copy and paste them across. Now, as far as long-term knowledge gains, patron orders, we want to prioritise anything that rewards Glimmer of Midnight engineering knowledge. These are given 2 knowledge points each and are the biggest factor in progressing your profession long term. And a really important tip here, save your concentration because some of the knowledge rewards will require these awkward rank 2 crafts, and concentration lets you brute force these without needing the perfect setup and therefore prevents you from missing out on knowledge gains. If you ever fall behind on knowledge, you'll also start seeing flicker of midnight engineering knowledge. Just get these done and it'll help you catch up with your profession. Your profession trainer also gives you a weekly quest tied to doing orders. You're going to be doing the patron orders anyway for the glimmers. Just make sure you pick up the quest at the start of the week and it's more free knowledge. After glimmers, your next priority is the weekly treasures. Each week you can pick up dance gear and dawn capacitator from world treasures. They give 2 knowledge points each, 4 knowledge points total every week just from collecting treasures. Don't forget to use your treaties each week. That's a free knowledge point just for getting an inscription character to craft this for you. When the Darkmoon Fair comes around at the start of the month, you get an easy free knowledge points for a quick 2-minute quest. It's active during the week midnight launches, so it's absolutely worth spending your time doing this. You can also get an extra 10 knowledge points by buying Beyond the Event Horizon Engineering. This comes from the Renown vendor in Voidstorm, but it requires reaching Renown 9 with a singularity. Engineering is one of the professions that gets screwed over by needing Renown 9 instead of 6 to get the 10 bonus knowledge points. You will need to grind a bit here. Luckily, someone made a guide for you. As far as further knowledge points are concerned, engineering has several recipes that come from sources outside of trainers and outside of Moxie. We have 13 PvP recipes that are likely going to be very expensive early in expansion, so just keep that in mind. Of course, all of these will give you a knowledge point, first time crafts, and give you an engineering boost, but it's likely to come with a hefty price tag attached to it. So specializations then, profession gear crafting specialization. We're going to use a resourcefulness tool with a resourcefulness enchant. Profession gear crafting is quite simple in engineering. Every piece of profession gear has its own nodes, so to craft a max rank, all you need to do is max out that node and the 2 preceding nodes. Now, it doesn't say this in the description very well, but you also need 25 points into recycling as well. There's a huge amount of plus skill coming from here. I imagine the right side of the tree will be more popular, as this has the profession tools for engineering, tailoring, and jewel crafting. There is some absolutely huge demand there. On the left side of the tree, we have accessories for engineering, mining, and the fishing rod. A bit less demand, but they could do well as well. So just max whatever it is you want to craft. Eventually, you want to come back over to recycling again and put 20 points into resourcefulness for the resourcefulness bonus. How much you prioritize this over unlocking more recipes to craft at max rank is up to you, but you're going to unlock all of this eventually. Gear crafting, very similar to profession gear crafting. Resourcefulness tool, resourcefulness enchant. Once again, goggles, braces, boots, and guns all have their own nodes. If you max out combat analytics and then put 35 points into whatever it is you want to craft, then you're good to go. We also need the same 25 points in recycling we did with profession gear crafting as well. Like with profession gear, eventually you want to come over to recycling and put 20 points into resourcefulness for the resourcefulness bonus. This is the basic engineering crafting build then that I imagine a lot of people will be running. This is going to be for the majority of things we craft with engineering, so parts, ammo, scopes, all that sort of stuff. For this, we're using a multi-craft tool with a multi-craft enchant. 20 points into multi-craft, 20 points into resourcefulness. Next, from there, I'd probably put 25 points into bits. There's a chunk of multi-craft and resourcefulness here when crafting regions. From there, 20 points into bits and bots is going to help give us a bit more crafting stats. From here then, all we need to do is to unlock rank 2 crafting, so we just need to max everything in recycling and bits and bots basically. From there then, we're only looking at rank 2 crafting, so just max everything in recycling and bits and bots besides the crappy ingenuity node. But in the meantime, while you're working towards that, you have perfect rank 1 crafting from a knowledge perspective. As usual, you can skip some of this, maybe the resourcefulness in particular, and push to rank 2 crafting earlier if you want, but that is a risky strategy. For a recycling build then, we're going to run a resourcefulness tool with a resourcefulness enchant. Max out recycling, 30 points, 100% more materials from recycling is kinda not bad for this build. I like getting 20 points into resourcefulness early here as well. It's a massive boost for just 20 knowledge points. 30 points into bits as well for another recycling bonus. Hopefully you can unlock all of that pretty early with how many knowledge points we get with engineering. From here then, just max out bits and bots knowledge tree. This gets pretty nice for recycling once you get all of that filled out. Now there's a lot of crossover here between the recycling build and the general engineering crafting build. The knowledge setup is almost identical. You just need 2 different profession tools. I imagine most people will run this on the same crafter and take just a little bit longer to set up, but that's up to you. Long term, a single character can do all of this easily enough. You can increase your profit margins massively by handling multi-step crafting chains yourself, especially if each stage is done with a properly optimized setup. Using recycling to produce evercores and elithium as cheaply as possible, crafting your own engineering parts, and then feeding those directly into your final crafts. This is where engineering really starts to pull ahead, because players who only craft the final item, and this is probably what you'll see with a lot of craft sim and things like that, the number might not seem particularly high, but when you do things through these multiple stages and you have everything set up properly, then the profit margins can tend to be significantly higher. That doesn't mean you can't make gold without doing this, it just means you'll make a little bit less. Crafting speed, absolutely essential if you want to maximize your gold per hour with a lot of crafting stuff. The file of quick hands from Dragonflight still works in Midnight. It's a 30% crafting speed on all Midnight crafts, just use it. At the time of writing, we are very close to release, and the Weaver buffs from the War Within are also still working on Midnight crafts, so you can quite easily max out your crafting speed using the stuff from the War Within. A big part of doing well with any profession is knowing whether something is actually worth crafting before you spend the time and materials. Add-ons like Craft Sim are great for getting a quick snapshot of profitability on individual crafts, and I also have the crafting sheet on Patreon that's built around Midnight. If this helped, then if you can throw the video a like, that's massively appreciated. We have over 15,000 people now on the Gold Making Discord using all the free Midnight profession guides, so if you want to do any of that, come and join us over there.